What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Norse Outdoors. Today, we're bringing with you another ice forecasting video. Today is December 13th, 2024, and what we're going to be talking about today is ice growth on Lake of the Woods, Minnesota. Now, every year, we go on an ice fishing trip, and typically we go to Lake of the Woods. We're out of the Rainy River, Baudette area, so that's kind of where we focus our trips on. And when I say we, Norse Outdoors is made of me, Gus, Gavin, and RJ. So we're a group of guys. We like fishing, ice fishing especially. And so today we're going to be talking about ice growth on Lake of the Woods and giving you current conditions on ice thickness and where to go on Lake of the Woods for ice fishing. So let's dive into it. If you've been with us before, you've probably kind of seen the little gist of what we do for ice forecasting, but if you haven't, I'll explain that quickly to you here. So Gus has made a tool by looking at temperatures in Baudette at the International Airport and able to kind of show the last 4 or 5 years of temperatures, and we're able to correlate that to average ice growth. And what we're able to do with this tool is use the predicted temperatures into the future for the next 10 to 14 days to kind of get a good sense of what the ice does and how it grows. Now, with all that being said, your best information on ice conditions and ice safety is going to be at the lodges. Wigwams, Adrian's, Ballard's, Sportsman's Lodge, Kirk Quinnell, like the people that are up there actually taking ice conditions. So that's going to be who you want to go to, who you're going to want to call for the most current conditions in their area, because those resorts and those folks are great about keeping your safety first. But with that being said, we've had a lot of success being able to predict the ice thickness using this tool. So I'm going to show the graph of what I'm looking at as an update. So today is, like I said, December 13th. We had a cold snap the past couple days, so we are definitely making ice, and as you can see, we predict all the way out to December 21st. Some things to note that I look at when I'm looking at this graph is last year, 2023, in the bright pink, as we all remember, is a pretty tough year ice making wise, and we're well below that, doing much better than last year, especially if we keep with these temperatures. And then another thing that I like to look at is how we compared to, the last 4 or 5 years. So I'll put that graph up here. Those years averaged into one blue line from 2019 to 2022. So that's excluding last year, the tough, very mild winter across the lower 48. But excluding that year, this is the average and where we're at. So you kind of see we kind of jumped up. Last weekend was pretty warm, but not enough to bring the 3-day moving average above freezing, which is great news. And we're going to be dipping down here very shortly. I mean, we've had a cold couple days. Hasn't been as windy, so that'll be great for ice making conditions. So speaking of ice conditions, where we're at today is as of this Wednesday, so December 10th it was, Wigwams actually opened up their road to side-by-sides, snowmobiles, and four-wheelers for pulling portables. That tells me that they're at about 9 to 12 inches of ice along their road that's staked out past 4 Mile Bay. Not quite sure what depth they're out to, but they're definitely past 4 Mile Bay. Elsewhere, Ballard's Resort, they measured, like I said, 9 to 12 inches of ice across the trail to 4 Mile Bay. And there's a couple spots of 7 inches, and they're in about 15 feet of water. That's just north of 4 Mile Bay, so I'm guessing that's probably where Wigwams is at as well. They're waiting until about today to get people out on side-by-sides and four-wheelers, snowmobiles, that sort of thing, only pulling portables. We like to go out. We've got a nice ice castle that the twins made. That's usually we get out with the quarter tons to a tons, just to be safe. It's homemade, so we like to be a little cautious with ice conditions. So that's usually what we're waiting for. I would love to get out there with a portable house. That sounds awesome. So looking forward, I talked about this graph a little bit on our last video. So if you want to learn a little bit more, you can check out that video. I'll link it below. But this graph right here, I'll pop that up, is ice growth over a day. They take freezing degree days, they call them FDDs, and then translate it into ice growth over the next 24 hours. So as you can see, if it's averaging 30 degrees Fahrenheit all the way down to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll grow ice at a different rate. And that's kind of excluding and taking into wind and current and yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of different factors. But we're dealing with temperature as our, main point of concern. And if you look back to this December temperature average, and we're predicting kind of an average, I would say, in the next 10 days, about in the single digits up to maybe 11 degrees, right, with these big temperature swings. So if we go back to the ice growth graph and we go in between 10 to 20 degrees, we should be making about 1.5 to 2 inches of ice per day from here on out. So with that being said, if they're at 9 to 12 and waiting for some of that 7-inch, suspicious ice spots, we should be healing pretty quickly here and should be getting people on side-by-sides, snowmobiles, and four-wheelers kind of throughout that southeastern part of Lake of the Woods, and then eventually pulling ice castles and permanent houses. So that's what we're looking forward to. Again, another resource that I definitely want to shout out is Facebook pages. A lot of these resorts are very active on Facebook pages, checking ice reports, and that's where I got some of these pictures that I'm showing you here today. So you want to definitely follow those, or you can just stay tuned for our ice forecasting videos, and we'll kind of give you a big picture. I know on the west side of the lake, I'm not as in tune with what's happening on there. I know that people were out at War Road getting on the ice, and ice is growing very well on that side of the lake as well. Additionally, I know folks up at the Angle are having great ice making conditions. So we're looking forward to making more of these ice forecasting videos, looking forward to checking in with you. And I want to hear when you guys are planning to get out there. Like I said, we're going to be making that up there in January. Looking forward to bringing some ice fishing videos for you then. But until then, we'll keep checking in with these ice forecasting videos. And if you like this kind of content, remember to like and subscribe. But remember, folks, nobody owns the water. We'll catch you on the next one. Tight lines.